Hello everyone, it is Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner. It is September 28th and I am filming my next update, and it's only been a week, so yay for sticking on schedule. I wanted to show you guys a new thing I kind of discovered a drink. So I have this cherry flavored bubbly water, and I had opened one and then walked into the other room to talk to my husband, and that took longer than I expected, so I came back and it was room temperature. So I just put it back in the fridge and then completely forgot about it. And then my husband was like, "Are you ever going to drink this?" And I didn't want to be wasteful, so I decided to try something. So I poured it into this cup, and then I topped, so it came to about like right here, and I topped up the rest with lemonade. And so bubbly water is no calories, no sweetener. So this is just cherry flavored. It's not sweet. There's no artificial flavoring. So then I topped up with the lemonade and a few squirts of lemon juice, and this is so good. Like, I wish I had discovered this earlier in the summer, and I would have definitely been drinking more of this, because it's not as many calories, because it's not even a full serving of lemonade. It's not as sweet. So I brought that up here to drink while I film this. This should be a pretty short update because I don't have a lot. For one thing, it's only been a week. For another thing, I did not get done much crafting. I have several new starts. Two of them are knitting. No, are they? I don't know. So there's not much in the worry of cross stitch, and it's just gonna be a pretty short update. One of the first things I wanted to show you is that I have started in the bullet journal. So I ended up deciding to continue with the blank pages in my old one. So I put washi tape on the edge so I can quickly flip to it. I did a future log for the next 3 months. So I wrote the dates and then the things. I color coded them so that I can quickly glance. And then I have set up my spread for October. And my main thing in October is the 24-hour readathon that I'm hosting. So I have this, and then I did the dates till the end of the readathon, the 25th. So I can jot in any dates where things need to be done on a certain day, posts need to be put up, that type of thing. And then I just put other important dates here that are not related to the readathon. And on the other side, I have, well, I called it a rotation tracker, but it's just kind of to track how long I spend on certain projects. So I put all the most important, and they're pretty much all related to Christmas gifts on, and then I put a couple other categories. I still have one blank space. But what I like to do is assign each week a color, and then I color it in up to 10 hours. So I'm pretty excited about that. This is my first week spread, and this is the spread style I like the most. So I have dailies, and instead of doing habit trackers for things like my scripture studies or exercising or things like that, I literally write them in every day, because for me it motivates me more when I can color in the box. So I do that for my dailies, and then below, so orange is going to be all the things that I repeat daily, and then in green I just put the incidentals that are coming up this week, things I needed to get done on certain days, and red is important things. So I forgot to actually write down that it's my sister's birthday on this day. So Joe, if you're watching this, happy birthday in a couple days. I love you, and I wish you were closer so I could celebrate with you. And then below it are weekly goals, and so those are ones I just try to accomplish throughout the week. It's like a to-do list. So that is that, and that's my bullet journal update, and I'm so happy to be using a bullet journal again. I really had missed it. So let's talk about cross stitching. For some reason, I really felt the urge to work on the Long Dog Samplers Pandemic WIP, and I had not done very much at all before this week. And I think I must have done about 1,000 stitches. So this is what it's looking like now. The color in person is a lot more vibrant. It's a little closer, but bringing this closer so you can see the details. The page ends somewhere around here and somewhere around here, so I can fit the whole first page in the Q-snap, which is really nice. And I am just using one strand. This is a Silks for You that my friend Martha used for a different project, and so she sent me the rest of it. And I'm using one strand, and the coverage is fantastic. But the other thing that's so nice about that is that I can literally do the back stitching as I'm stitching up the project, because I don't have to change between my cross stitching being 2 strands and back stitching only being 1. So I really am loving that, because I hate back stitching so much. So yep, this is what I've done so far, and it's still in the Q-snap because I hope to be able to work on it a little bit more before, you know, I get tired and ready to move to something else. So I've only worked on one other thing this week. Let me, yep, the basket's empty. And that is a new start, and that is for the Secret Santa ornament exchange in my group. And I finally started mine. So, this is what it will look like. I changed all the colors, converted it myself because I didn't have anything that was called for, but I have a lot of red and green hand dyed, so I figured I might as well just pull from stash as opposed to ordering for just an ornament. And this is all I got done. I used this in the Daily 30 group, Cheryl McKinney's, for the first day this week of the Daily 30. And my plan is to try to work on this for 30 minutes a day until it's complete. And then I want to move to the Prairie Schooler Santas I need to do for my husband and work on those for 30 minutes a day, and just kind of pick a project and actually work on that for 30 minutes a day. And just, yeah, that's my current plan. So hopefully that'll work. This is too small to fit into my Q-snap, so I am just stitching it in hand, which is fine. I am doing the, what's that method called when you do it all on top of the fabric? I don't remember, but anyways, yeah, so I'm glad I finally started that. I need to mail it out by the end of this month, and I want to throw in a few other goodies in case my person watches this. She doesn't know who she is, but I don't want her to see it and know what she's getting or anything like that, so I'm really happy with that. The only other cross-stitch related thing is on Saturday, I was trying to find a project to fit one of the task requirements in Cheryl McKinney's group, and that is to stitch on something that in the WIP is slow. And so I have this pattern called Our Savior, Our Teacher, or something like that. It's a heaven and earth design, and it's a picture of Jesus and children, and he's reading them a book or something like that. And for some reason in my mind, I thought that there was a lamb in the pattern. So I pulled it out to work on it. There is not a lamb in that pattern. That was all in my head. So Must have been another picture of Jesus that I saw, and I was just conflating them. But so I pulled it out to start looking at it, and I started this, I don't even know, 6 years ago or something like that. And I suddenly got really worried that I didn't have enough fabric for the project. So I spent several hours counting and drawing grid lines down to the bottom of the fabric, which I do have enough, even though there's a lot more at the top. And then I did the same thing to the other edge over here. And it turns out I have 2 inches on the edge, which I wish I had more because I have 4 inches over here. So I either did bad math or the count is a little bit off or something, but so far I've only done black on this one. This pattern calls for a lot of black, so I was just stitching with black. I need to go in and fill in the little blobs, but I don't know. I don't know if I will do that before the black, but anyways, so doing all that made me want to work on this. It doesn't fit for that prompt, but I'm hoping maybe I'll find something else that this will work for, another challenge, and then I'll be able to work on it. But in the meantime, I still need to find something slow. In Cheryl McKinney's group, it is the Jetsons week, and I just signed up for not Hulu, HBO Max. It was on a discount, and it had a bunch of things I wanted to watch, and they have the Jetsons on it, so I have been watching the Jetsons, which actually is really hard to stitch and watch things like that, because for me it's like a lot of nostalgia from my childhood, and so I was watching it way more than I was stitching. And then I've also been watching this YouTube family called Not Enough Nelsons, and they're this family in Utah that have 16 children. They have 7 biological and 9 adopted. 6 of the adopted are from a family, so they're a family group, and 2 are from Russia, and then there's 1 other. But they do things like challenges, or like last to leave this wins a prize, or blah blah blah. Anyways, or room makeovers. I don't know. They are really, I find them really enjoyable. They're wholesome. They're just upbeat, friendly. What I need to lift my spirits. So I have really been binge watching them a lot, and I cannot craft to them at all because I just watch it, and that's really unusual for me. It's unusual to not be able to craft while watching things, but if you're into that kind of thing, or maybe even if you aren't and you just need something uplifting, definitely check them out. They are funny and just a really sweet family, and yeah, they have a ton of kids, so yeah. Anyways, enough about that. So I do have a couple of knitting things to share with you guys. The first is, last week I was talking about the stitch along that starts October 9th, and that got me thinking about the stitch along from last year, which I hadn't worked on since the first week of that stitch along. So I decided to pull it out. And guys, I've gotten more done on it than I did during the week I actually, when the pattern came out, or the first part anyways. So all I had done was this one, oops, that's the back. This one parallelogram. That's all that had been completed in this massive shawl. So this week I did this one, and I did this one. And the reason there's still a few stitches here on it is because now it's time to bring in the next so there's 6 parallelograms, so I still have to do 3 more. But so now it's time to bring in the next red block or maroon or whatever it's called. But so, yeah, I am really enjoying this. And I think that it's good that I took a break from it, because in the year since I've worked on this, my knitting skills have definitely increased and improved. The instructions are more clear to me now. I understand better what to do. I'm counting better. All those things I'm doing better. So it was good to have taken that break and now approach it again. And I really want to keep working on this. But I do also know that soon it will be time for the other stitch knit along to start, and I want to stay caught up with that if at all possible. And so this one will probably go away again, but hopefully not for as long as it did. The next thing I have to share is I decided to knit another block onto my Coziest Memories blanket. So before I had these 3. So the way I'm doing this is by diagonals. So I joined for the next block and I knit 1 more, and I did this on Scrappy Sunday, and this took me, oh my gosh, probably like 4 or 5 hours, because I was watching Not Enough Nelsons, and I was getting done like 1 row an episode, and they're like 20-minute episodes, and I was watching it and not actually knitting. So yeah. This is my Coziest Memories. I had wanted to do 2 blocks on it, but I didn't get that done because someone cannot watch Not Enough Nelsons and do any crafts at the same time. So that is what I did for Scrappy Sunday. I have 2 other knitting things to share. The first is I cast on for a yarn cozy. I had to rip this out and restart it 4 times so far. And I'm only 3 rows in, so there's still time. I am using my leftover Slither and Stripey yarn from my Slither and Stripey socks. So there's enough of this to make a yarn cozy. I'm hoping there'll be enough left to do a block in my Coziest Memories blanket, but we shall see. And I want to make 4 yarn cozies by the time the knit along begins, so that I can put each of the colors I'm working on. There are 5 yarns, but 2 of them are the same, so I only need 4. I want to be able to put each of the yarns into a cozy to just keep them contained and keep them from falling apart. So this is my tiny little start. And so I have a lot that needs to be done before I can be ready by the 9th. So basically I need to do 1 every other day. I am intending on putting that onto my 9-inch circulars, but it has to be started either magic loop or DPNs. I'm not sure if even DPNs would work at this small, but I guess they probably could. But anyways, you have to do that to begin with, because there's not enough stitches to fit on the DPNs. So once I do all of the increases to get the bottom, I can switch this over to the magic loop and continue with the pattern there. So it's not a difficult pattern. I've only had to rip it out so many times because we were doing family game night, and I wasn't paying enough attention and I lost count and stuff like that. So I am really excited to have more of those done. The pattern is from Nitty Natty, Love and Stitches. I think is the username on Ravelry, her design name. But yeah, so it's Mini Yarn Cozy is what she calls it. And then she's also got Yarn Cozy Light, which is for smaller sized cakes, which I also have the pattern for and intend to do, but I'm not stitching with those right now, so I'm just gonna do. I don't know why I'm yawning. I got plenty of sleep last night. Yeah, so I'm just gonna work on that for now. Get those 4 done, and that is one of my main goals. The final thing I have to share with you is that I finally cast on the cuff for my Halloween stripy sock. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you will know many months ago I finished the first Halloween stripy sock. This is the Do-Si-Do socks from the Crazy Sock Lady. And that the yarn is from Mint Rain. I'm so sorry. Mint Rain hand-dyed yarn, and this is the logo, and it's called Witch's Britches. And so I finally cast on the cuff, and I've only worked on this for one night, but I really hope to be able to finish this a week or two before Halloween so that I can wear them for a little while before Halloween is done. I mentioned last week that I am doing the DC Pigskin Party, and I am on team number 14. Our name is Schrodinger's Yarn. And so I was telling you guys that sponsors get you, if you work with their yarn or their patterns or whatever, that gets you extra points. As it happens, Mint Rain is one of the sponsors, and the Crazy Sock Lady is another sponsor. So doing this sock will get me points for 2 sponsors. And yeah, I'm only able to do this. You're not supposed to work on whips. You have to start them during the event. However, because I had finished this one, or you're able to do the single sock. I can only count the yardage from this sock. I can't count the yardage from this one, but I am able to do this. So I am going to try to finish all of my started socks during this event. Unfortunately, I don't think that will be able to count for my dad's because I did do those 2 at a time, but you know, it is what it is. But for example, I have this sock that was actually the first sock I ever started, and which is kind of ambitious for a first sock, right? But especially considering I had only been knitting for less than a year when I started this. But I cannot count finishing this sock at all for yardage. But I can count the second sock. Jeez Louise, which has not been started. So I would like to finish this pair. I will be finishing up this set for the event. Hopefully I'll be able to make a pair of socks for my husband. And my Mint Rain yarn, that is the Christmas socks. I will hopefully also be able to get those done. So that's basically it, you guys. I mean, like I said, this is going to be a short update. I did not work on much. I was working on project bags. I mentioned trying to do some of those, and I cut out a ton of fabric and I did some sewing, some ironing, but they are all still in process of being made, so nothing I can share yet, but hopefully next week I'll have some bags I can show you guys, because I think I have some really cute fabric combinations that I really like. So and that's basically all that's going on in my life right now. We do have some events this week. We are going to have our roof replaced. It's a 30-year-old roof. It needs replacing. So right now my husband is in the process of getting bids, and so we are having a lot of people coming out to the house and looking at the roof and giving us quotes, and then my husband will see which is the best deal. Because he also has a rental property he needs to get a new roof for, so we are hoping, because we have 2 properties, that we'll be able to get some kind of a discount for multiple properties. We don't know. But anyway, so that's what's going on in our life. Yeah, that's all I have to say and to update. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic stitchy week. I hope to. And I'm going to try to get my 30 minutes of geez Louise, my 30 minutes on my Christmas ornament. Oh, I didn't say last week, but my mom dyed my hair while I was here. So it is a more red auburn kind of color. I'm really happy with it. So I will probably be dyeing my hair this color again. I actually can't really dye my own hair because it's so long and everything. So I'm going to have my husband dye my hair for me. But not for another few weeks or anything like that. So, but I just thought I would mention if you guys thought that maybe my hair looked different, because my aunt mentioned that. It is different. My mom did dye it for me. So, it was nice to get a change. I do have gray hair. And so, I've been going gray since I was 13, so it's a part of my life, but, yeah, so I was wanting some kind of change, and she had asked me to pick up hair dye for her while we were at the store, my husband and I was just looking at them, and I was like, yeah, I want to have a change, and so we did, and I did, and I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it, so, yeah, that is all that's new in my life. I don't have a lot of preset plans for this coming week, so what I work on we will just discover together. So until next week, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.